When we think of the Battle of Thermopylae, the first images that come to mind are often those of 300 fierce Spartan warriors, standing shoulder to shoulder against the vast might of the Persian Empire. Hollywood has enshrined this vision in epic films, turning it into a story of heroism and sacrifice, a tale of a tiny band of men standing entirely alone against insurmountable odds. But, as with many legends passed down through the centuries and adapted for dramatic effect, reality tells a more nuanced story. In August 480 BC, King Xerxes of Persia launched one of the most ambitious invasions the ancient world had ever witnessed, determined to settle old scores and expand his empire further into Greece. Against this threat, the Greek city-states, so often divided by rivalry and pride, managed, for a brief and extraordinary moment, to unite. The pass at Thermopylae, with its narrow defile between the mountain and the sea, was chosen as the perfect choke point. There, a resolute coalition of Greek troops assembled to make their stand. The popular story focuses on Sparta, and for good reason. The Spartans were renowned even among their Greek contemporaries for their martial discipline, courage, and unyielding code. At Thermopylae, King Leonidas did indeed lead 300 of his personal bodyguard, men who had sons to carry on their names, chosen for both their skills and their resolve to never show weakness. These warriors formed the hardcore of the defense that would become legend, but they were never alone. Joining the Spartans was a force composed of contingents from other Greek city-states: Thespians, Thebans, Corinthians, Arcadians, Phocians, and more. In total, roughly 7,000 Greek soldiers stood together at the outset of the battle. Each brought with them their own customs, armor, and fighting styles, bound by a desperate determination to control the only land route into the heart of Greece. The sense of unity, frail and fragile as it was, gave the defenders a fighting chance against the overwhelming Persian numbers. For 2 grueling days, the defenders held fast. Xerxes' waves of infantry found themselves funneled into the narrow pass, where the longer Greek spears and well-coordinated hoplite formations blunted every assault. The Spartans, with their rigorous training, set the example. Discipline in formation, strength in arms, and fearless refusal to break ranks. But the men of Thespiae, who had chosen to remain as the situation grew ever more desperate, and the Thebans, pressed into the service of the defense, proved their own valor on the blood-streaked stones of Thermopylae. It was only on the 3rd day, when a traitor named Ephialtes revealed a hidden path through the mountains, that the Greeks' defiance turned to tragedy. Xerxes' elite troops, the Immortals, marched around and behind the pass, trapping the defenders in a deadly pincer. Faced with annihilation, Leonidas dismissed the bulk of the army. Only his Spartans, the loyal Thespians who refused to leave, and the Thebans, who were compelled to stay, remained. Together they fought to the very end, refusing to surrender, giving their last breath in defense of their homeland. So while the legend of 300 Spartans fighting alone makes for gripping storytelling, the reality is even more stirring, if less dramatic. It was the courage of many, the sacrifice shared among Greeks from all corners, that truly defined Thermopylae. Outnumbered but not outmatched in spirit, their stand bought precious days for the Greek cities to marshal their forces, and their story continues to inspire as a symbol of resistance against overwhelming odds. And while Hollywood may embellish, the valor at Thermopylae was greater than any legend because it was shared.